And now, please welcome Jim Johnson, who has held several senior positions in the United States Department of the Treasury, including Undersecretary of the Treasury for Enforcement.
Good evening. My faith in the Constitution is whole. It is complete. It is total. That was Barbara Jordan during the Watergate hearings many, many years ago. At the time she said those words, Loretta Lynch and I were just teenagers. This was an extraordinary moment because it was just a few years after Dr. King had been assassinated. It was within our memory that dogs had been set on school children and the fire hoses had been unleashed. And here was the first African-American woman to be elected to Congress from the state of Texas. This is Juneteenth, y'all. And she was taking the president to task with the United States Constitution. We were teenagers, and we learned on that day about the dignity of holding public office. We learned in that moment about the majesty of the law, and we learned about the sanctity of protecting the Constitution. 5 years after that, Attorney General Lynch and I met and became friends in college. We have known each other now 40 years. We've been in and out of each other's lives, and whenever Loretta leaves your life, you miss her. Nothing has made me miss her more than every single day of the Attorney General of the United States and what he does. When a car drove into a crowd of peaceful protesters in Charlottesville, and this administration couldn't figure out which side it stood on, I missed me some Loretta Lynch. And last week, when the Attorney General used the book of Romans to justify separating parents from their children, I missed Loretta Lynch. Because I know that Attorney General Lynch, and I know I've known her a long time, but sometimes I just love saying that. Attorney General Lynch knows from the book of Micah, what does the Lord require of thee? To do justice, to love mercy, and walk humbly with God. And that's what her tenure as Attorney General was like. Protecting the sanctity of the Constitution. The day after Attorney General Lynch took the oath of office, she knew which side she had to stand on, that of justice, and she was in Baltimore after the death of Freddie Gray. That is our Loretta Lynch. Now, there are some people in the room who may not remember Barbara Jordan. Her great statement was many, many years ago. If I were to talk to my daughters about Barbara Jordan, they would look at me quizzically. But they know who Attorney General Lynch is. They know what dignity in public office is about. They know what it means to protect the sanctity of the United States Constitution. We are so thankful this day to have with us very understated, but as important in our time as Barbara Jordan was in hers. I give to you the former Attorney General, 83rd Attorney General of the United States, Loretta Lynch.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. Jim, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, for reminding me of the words of someone who was actually one of my own personal heroes. My life was changed forever when I saw Barbara Jordan utter those words. But I also thank you for your years of friendship and for everything that you have done to push forward equality for all people, not just in this state, but in this country. People have talked about Jim's tenure as the head of ATF. And what they've often forgotten is that he took over at a time when ATF was in a lot of trouble within the minority community. But ATF was needed to investigate a series of church burnings that were going on around the country. But ATF's reputation had been damaged because of some racist incidents in its own past. Jim not only took on the challenge of bringing that agency into the future, he took on the challenge of reaching out to a troubled community that was being harmed and bringing in the federal government to help, the first time that had happened in decades. And so, Jim, I thank you for your work as well in all of that. Ryan Haygood, you and the entire staff of the Institute for Social Justice are a wonder. You truly are. And I thank you, not just for this honor tonight, but for the work that you all do every day. Every day. You and your small band, and they are small considering everything that they're tackling, they hold the future of this city in their hands. And it could not be in better hands. Thank you, Ryan, for everything that you and your team are doing. My fellow honorees, I am tremendously honored to share this award with you, particularly my own inspiration in the struggle, Wade Henderson. My example, my mentor, my friend, my teacher. You teach us still, and I can't thank you enough for all your support over the years. And I would travel anywhere to share a stage with you. I truly would. I truly would. Now, and I also want to thank everyone in this room who is committed to the difficult work of social justice. And the work that we are doing in this field has never been more important because it goes directly to the tension that really has always been at the heart of this great country, at the heart of America. How do we make real the promise of America, especially for those who only seem to bear the burdens of America? How do we do that? How do we make real the promise of America, especially for those who only seem to bear the burdens of America? And everyone in this room has been working on these issues throughout the years and through different administrations. But your work has never been more timely. Every day brings new evidence of the racial and class divides that we had so badly hoped were beginning to heal. And the recent days have brought us images of an America that we thought we had vanquished. We thought we had left it behind with the last World War, images of internment. We thought we left it behind with the last 2 centuries, images of babies being torn from parents that can only remind me of the lack of the inability of enslaved people to claim and protect their own children. We thought that we had defeated these demons, but they still walk among us. These are challenging times. They pose a tremendous test of our ideals, of our values, of our faith. And yes, we see our leaders being tested. But this is really only part of the story, because I think we all know where our leaders already stand. They've already revealed themselves to us. And I believe in the words of the late Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. That's what I believe. These are challenging times, but my friends, the test is really for all of us. It is. This is the test that we face. It's a test of our principles, our beliefs, and yes, our faith. How will we respond to the dehumanization of those who only want a better life? How will we answer those around the world who still do look to us as a haven for the beleaguered and a sanctuary for the oppressed? Now, it's true. It's always important who is in the White House. But my friends, when it comes to this country, this is our house. This is our house. We don't need permission to have compassion. We don't need permission to reach out and take action. We don't need permission to speak up and to act when we see something that is wrong. This is our house, and that is our birthright. Now, I have to tell you, I was tremendously honored to serve as your Attorney General. It was the honor of a lifetime. And it was also an honor to work for the greatest president this country has ever had. It absolutely was. I am so proud of the work that we were able to do on issues like national security and terrorism, the protection of the vulnerable among us, and also working on issues like the relationship between law enforcement and the communities that we serve. But let me tell you, the best part of it all, the best part of my job was being able to travel this great country of ours and meet people who were doing the real work, the hard work, every single day of saving our children and empowering our communities. People who were digging in and answering that question, how do we make real the promise of America, especially for those who only seem to bear the burdens of America? And in the area of police and community relations, I was tremendously honored to be able to travel to Newark and to work with your mayor and your police chief and your U.S. attorney and my friend Paul Fishman on the consent decree, and to know that the Institute for Social Justice is working along with the team that we put together to continue its implementation. It's not only a source of great comfort for me, it is a source of inspiration to me, and so I thank you for that. But know this, all the time, it was your work that inspired us. It was your strength that uplifted us when we were trying to figure out the right way to go and what to do, and it was your stories that we took back to DC, both as an inspiration and an example. Now, I am proud of the work that we were able to do, the cases that we fought, the policies that we implemented. And I am often asked, how do I feel as I watch it being dismantled, piece by piece and rung by rung? And it is hard. And I will tell you this week, as I have watched the images from the southern border, it has broken my heart. And when I think about the fact that, as one of our other speakers noted, all that the legacy needed was to have the word Obama in front of it, to have it become a target for dissolution and dissipation. But my friends, the legacy that we built, that we all built together, is more than the cases that we fought, or the statutes that we wrote, or the policies we were able to put in place. The true legacy that we all put together is the people that we empowered. It is the voices that we lifted. It's the hearts and the minds that we opened. The true legacy is all of you. And now, as we face the tests of this day, as well as those to come, I am honored to stand with all of you once again. We have been tested before, and we've come through. We have reached out our hands. We have opened our doors. We have opened our hearts. We have opened the hearts and minds of our citizens. We have saved the soul of this country, and we can do it again. Because this is our house. Now, this work is hard, But as all of us in the social justice field know, it's always been hard. It will take time. What are we celebrating today? Juneteenth, a day when freedom for millions of people had been withheld for them, and yet they still celebrated. So it will take time, but we can do this. And I can think of no better group to stand with than all of you, because you all know that the path to equality in this country has never been straight. It has never been straight. It has had twists and turns. It has had outright reversals. I leave it to you to decide where we are now. But we have always pushed forward, and we have always prevailed. This is our house, and it is our time. We determine the path of this country, and it is time for us to do so again. So I thank you not just for this award, but I thank you for all the work that you have done to raise the issues of social justice. But more important, I thank you for the work that you will be doing to carry this legacy of this institute, of this wonderful law firm, of all the people who've poured their heart and soul into it forward. I am delighted to stand with you in this fight. So let me thank you once again so very, very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the National Social Justice Honoree 2018, the Honorable Loretta Lynch.